Hi. I haven't posted videos as often lately, mostly because I don't think that continuing to worry and speculate about the political future of this country is useful. We seem to be on a path towards a specific end that appears impossible to reverse. And even if something does happen to the Orange Man, which is generally predicted by all kinds of online psychics, astrologers, and readers, this movement down the path appears to have achieved its own momentum and will proceed without him. One person commented that trees don't care about politics. I had responded, they don't, but we do, and they are all around us all the time watching and listening. Since they've been around for so many millions of years longer, they probably have some observations that could be helpful. The trees are perfectly happy to share their insights, which usually go in the direction of spiritual development, but they can also give answers to questions, although they can be somewhat vague. On the other hand, during a 12-day period preceding this last New Year's Day, I asked for specific predictions from 12 trees I thought were associated with winter solstice, so they can be predictive. But the tree oracle cards are something different. They are my own innovation. I selected 137 different trees of the world and asked each one what it wanted to represent. It might be an emotion, a concept, or an action. I made them here at home with my Word program, my little old Epson printer, and cardstock. They're not for sale and are never likely to be, so I didn't get permission from anybody to use their photos. I use them the same way I use the tarot. I ask a question, do a layout, and interpret. The readings seem to be logical and timely, but don't ask me how random cards can tell any kind of story. It's a mystery. Anyway, I'm burnt out on the news and the incessant attention we pay to this petulant, vengeful child that a bunch of rich people are using to get what they want while wreaking havoc on the rest of the inhabitants of the world, not to mention the world itself. I will still stay up on what's happening, and if something seems really important to ask about, I'll probably use the tarot for that. But I am primarily, from now on, just going to concentrate on using my contact with trees to bring some good energy into the world. The only way you vanquish hate is with love, and the trees are a source of love. So I'll be doing a couple of readings a week with selected trees, or tree oracle card readings about directions we should or could or even are moving towards. They'll be about spiritual growth, about love of the planet, or whatever any particular tree wants to talk about. I'll do one today, a 10-card spread asking about the aforementioned path and what we can learn from it, and then where are we going next. I happen to be a person who has, from my early teens, realized that humans were brilliant but fatally flawed, and at some point the chickens were going to come home to roost. I think that's what's happening now, and the point is we can learn something from what's happening right now, and then it will go in another spiritual, perhaps other dimensional direction. And we only have glimpses of that now, but we know how to work for it because there have been wise men who came to give us a pathway to do that. Remember, it is a path, and we're just now taking the first baby steps on it. Here's the reading. On the question of what are we learning through what's happening now, the cards are Shack Shack reversed, keeping for oneself, excluding the larger number. Avocado, opulence, prosperity, and luxury. You reversed, things are insecure and undependable. Weeping Willow, music of the spheres, harmony of the celestial bodies. And Tree of Heaven reversed, putting oneself down, lack of self-respect. I don't see a progression here. Each card can be read as a single influence. The simple interpretation is that humans keep repeating a cycle of prosperity falling into the hands of a few to the exclusion of the rest, which inevitably leads to social unrest and insecurity for all. And just a little personal comment here. I believe this has been the case since societies began to evolve thousands of years ago and has kept expanding and repeating as we kept moving around the planet. But now we've filled the planet. Every inch is laid claim to, and there doesn't seem to be anywhere else to go to expand, so the endless cycle may have hit a brick wall at last. So even though it doesn't appear to be the case, those who are greedy and grab as much as they can for themselves act from an internal base of fear, not love. The Weeping Willow card tells me this is something that is in the stars, meant to be fated kismet, however you wish to describe it. The second group of cards were on the question of what's going to happen after this all comes to a conclusion. The cards are Saguaro, the populace, those that make up the community. Peruvian pepper reversed, miserliness. Candlenut, family tree, ancestry, inheritance. Cherry, continuation, carrying on, preservation, maintenance. Jackfruit reversed, typical or ordinary, and could mean abundance. Okay, what I'm seeing in these cards is not some utopian vision of love and harmony. It's as if there's been a great breaking down of society and world order, and those that are left are just ordinary folks who are relying on family, still trying to hold on to things like property, and at first may be reluctant to share. But this is a first step. We just folks are learning to carry on, to be the ones who care for ourselves and each other, to preserve order and take the mistakes that have been made as lessons about what not to recreate. We will start learning that there will always be enough to share. There will be abundance. And that's what I'm seeing here. What do you think? This is LauraJthe.Treetalker. Please subscribe and share with your tree-loving friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.